Hello, hi guys, hi everyone. Hi Nupur, good evening.
Hi Snehal, hi everyone. How are you? Are you tired after yesterday's
I
um,
am.
retinal workshop?
I think it's been a very long weekend.
Really?
There's a lot of crazy things I think I've jumped into all at once. And now I have to, because I've committed, I have to like be there and show up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, been long day, long tiring weekend. And I was just sleeping. I just woke up like half an hour before our workshop and
Good,
quickly
good.
got ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Need to rest also, na?
Yes, yes. Hi
Yes.
guys, everyone joining us in. Come say a hi to us. And today is going to be a very general chit chat conversational video. So let us know how you're doing, how it's been going, um, and let us know what you're doing on a Sunday evening.
Is it raining where you guys are?
Yes, let us know because Mumbai rains have not been kind.
Yeah, it's crazy,
It's just
right?
been crazy. It's crazy, and people are falling sick. Uh, my whole family is falling sick in a loop.
Oh God,
Like, yeah.
it's too much.
So we can talk a little bit about sick day management or how your sugars have been because it's the rainy season and how it's affecting you. Are you seeing any changes? Uh, but yes, join us in with your cup of chai or coffee or water simply.
Snehal, what are you having today? Chai or coffee or water?
Nothing. I don't feel
I'm
like
having
having
water.
anything. Yeah, same. My water bottle with hot water in it.
Wow,
So, yeah,
that's the best.
yes. So we'll be starting in about 1 or 2 minutes. So yes, if you have any questions or if you just want to know anything about diabetes in general or our NGO, the Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation, ping us, send us your comments, and we will be more than happy to answer them for you all. So yes, we are excited for today's live. I think it's been some time, right? Nupur, we connected online to just do like a chit chat.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's been some time actually.
yeah,
I don't remember, maybe a month or two or longer,
I
maybe.
remember the Kigali one.
Which one? Which one?
Yeah,
Yeah, the Kigali one, correct.
the Kigali one.
Oh, yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun. I remember our internet was also so
Yes.
patchy then, but we managed somehow.
Yeah, just managed. Is there anything fun you guys are doing other than like diabetes and stuff? So let us know. Anything fun you're watching or learning? Any hobbies?
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll
nice
be great.
snacks. Really.
Yeah. So I'm just traveling everywhere with my, like this inhaler kind of a thing I bought from Thailand,
Nice.
and this has been a lifesaver
Is it
for
that herbs
headaches.
wala, inhaler snail? Like it's
No,
got
yeah,
some.
it's kind of like that, but I got it from Thailand, and it's quite good. So it has
Yeah,
like a normal inhaler at one end, and it has like a little bit of oil thing at the other end. And this
okay,
oil
okay.
is really good. So you can apply it on your head, like on your key point, so that you don't feel sick. And I heard it helps for nausea also,
Oh,
but I haven't
really?
tried it. Yeah, like you just keep on smelling this and you don't feel nausea.
You know, Snehal, when we were in Thailand, and so there was this I took a cab to some place. Now the people that have come in this live are going to think what these girls are talking, but I have to say this. So we took a cab to some place, and the cab wala offered me something, and I thought it's candy or something. So I said no, I don't want like my blood sugar, it. And then later I realized it's this like
Ah,
stick, and I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think that like maybe that's the culture there, and I'm not sure like even if I would have accepted it, what to do with that thing, like Why would I use, um, I don't know, must be something. But if anyone knows, please tell us in the comments, and also tell us where you're joining us from. And if you can see us and hear us, because we haven't seen any comments, and we really hope that you can see us and hear us properly. And like Snehal said before, tell us what we should talk about. Tell us in the comments. A lot of people are falling sick, so we'll definitely Snehal give us a good idea of sick day management. That's really much needed in this season. But what else do you want to talk about? Is there something that we should cover today? It's a free, what do you call it? A blank slate. The canvas is empty. Um, so go for it and tell us.
And the
Meanwhile,
rains have been, like so loud also. Like even though
yeah,
my windows are like tightly shut,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
still I can hear it, like it's there.
yeah. It's pretty crazy. Yesterday we were at Sion Hospital for the retinal health workshop, and the rain was, pouring so hard. I felt like, is the roof like, just going to fall down? Or yeah, we could hear it so clearly inside the auditorium.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
And it's a
wild.
proper July rains in Mumbai, and yeah, but
Yeah,
I think the viral has gone a little more stronger, in my opinion, because even though like I do fall sick quite often in the rainy season, but I never feel like feverish, like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
just one day of rest like helps me like feel better. But this
correct.
time it's a little crazy, like I'm falling sick once every 10 days, and then if I fall sick, I need at least 2 days to recover, and I'm
Yeah, yeah,
feeling
it's taking
a lot of
longer.
weakness and little feverish, which has never
Oh,
been the case prior to this, like prior to this kind of a weather.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
And I
don't
have
know
to,
what it is.
also I'm feeling that my body has been more insulin resistant through the day. That is also one change I've seen, and my sugars are generally, like around 170, 180
Yeah,
throughout the day, and no matter how much insulin I take, like
yeah,
it's not coming down, it's just hanging, like it's not going above 180, but it's not
yeah.
coming below 170, and that's been like
Frustrating.
just a little annoying to see that.
Yeah,
So like this week, like this Monday onwards, I kind of increased my basal, like
yeah,
I think 40%, and I
yeah, yeah.
feel a little bit improvement in that, and I also increased my
Good.
basal and bolus both I have increased, like drastically I would say, because usually even when I experiment with my insulin dose, I just increase it by 1 or 2 units per se,
Correct. Yeah,
and now I can see like I have to like so I was taking my Glargine
yeah.
14, like, and now I increase it to 20, you know
But that's helping. Like you feel it's made a
that's
difference.
helping a lot, like at least the uh, daytime highs, or like just being stuck at that one
Yeah,
level, that is not happening anymore,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
And I
I'm
think with
sure a
the
lot of you guys are also noticing this kind of a change, like because this the people who are falling sick this time, it just feels a lot worse, and your sugars are like also tending to be unmoving, and like not following the diabetes rule book. So like you have to kind of adjust your dosage accordingly. So I
oh
think
yeah,
I learned that from Nupur a little bit, like because I remember in Thailand also when I was sick and I was not eating anything, and I kept my dose the same, the
yeah.
basal dose the same, and I was reducing it by one unit. And then Nupur, I was just speaking to Nupur, and she said, "Oh, you reduce it by 50%." I was like, "Whoa, I didn't think of this."
Yeah, but it
Uh,
was so scary, right, Snehal, when
yeah,
you was like being in a new country, being like, even though there are people, but still like you feel it's so like you feel scared, and it's like you feel like you're all alone. That was a stressful time, right?
yeah, yeah. So I think after that incident, like I'm not afraid to kind of, like change my dosage a little bit more, because
Yeah,
previously I've been very cautious, ek unit, do unit, like that.
correct.
But now just to see, and because I'm on the CGM, it helps because I can keep a track of the changes. Uh,
Yeah,
so, so yeah, I think these are a few things that I've been doing in terms of, like managing this viral season here.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Even like last week or little longer than a week, I was also sick. And you know, like what you said, Snehal, that I think this time it's more like intense, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just taking longer and everything is like, and I'm just like, is it something wrong? Is there something wrong with me? Or is it just how it is now for
yeah,
everyone? Is it's just taking longer for everyone to feel better? But it, it's really so annoying. There was a parent on one of our groups, and they were saying that the child, he has a 6-year-old daughter, and her sugars are just not coming down. Like they've increased the dose, they've done everything. um, and I know it's so scary, like after so many years of having diabetes also, I also feel scared to increase or decrease my dose. Like I had to increase my bolus like 100%. Like if I'm taking like 1 or 2 units, bang double. That is like on an ordinary day that would be very scary, very dangerous to do. But when you're sick, that barely touches.
yeah.
uh, you know then you're like
And
confused.
couple of times I have had really bad hypos when I was sick, like
Oh,
so I am very cautious on how I adjust my dosage when I'm sick, like
correct.
uh, yeah. So yeah, but I think now I become more aware and more cautious, like mentally. It feels a little taxing, to always be like wondering how it's going to go. Like, should I increase one? Should I increase two? Should I increase four?
Yeah,
And always to keep a track on the CGM, cross check on the glucometer. But I think this weather is kind of like that, wherein definitely I noticed that uh, diabetes is not following the rule book. Like even though I am doing everything in my control, the food, the exercise, like and trying to be indoors, like and not having anything cold or sweet or anything.
yeah.
It still feels a little, like uh, not by the rule book. I would just conclude at that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel your frustration, Snehal. Hi, Yash. How are you?
Hi Yash, good to see you.
Yeah. I know that Yash, you're pretty newly diagnosed. If there's something that you want to share or ask, um, or just vent something, I hope you've not got a viral in this
Me and Nupur were
crazy.
just venting our feelings on falling sick in this weather and how insulin is not up working as it does.
Yeah. And I have this other weird thing. Now Snehal's gonna be like, I don't know why Nupur is saying all these crazy things. But when I get sick, like if I get fever specifically, then like when I take my shot, it hurts a little bit, like I don't know if this is I don't think I've ever told you this, or like I don't know, I just didn't get the chance, so I didn't think of it. It's really random. बट किसी और के साथ अगर ये हो रहा है तो प्लीज शेयर करो, क्योंकि मुझे लग रहा है कि मैं पागल हूँ. बिकॉज if I have fever and I take my shot, like it just hurts me that little bit more. It doesn't hurt usually, and everything is normal. But I don't know, like this is a sick day observation.
Good observation, I would say. But I think over the years, like since I think 2 years, I have been very particular about when I change my needles. Like I know for the longest time, I have not bothered. Like I think I've used. Don't do this at home, but I've like not changed the needle till all the markings faded away. Like I was like, ठीक है, दुखता तो उतना ही है. Like those
Yeah,
kind of thoughts were in my head. But I think
yeah,
since 2 years now, I've been very particular that I should, like change my needles once a week.
yeah.
So that is something. But I also noticed like the needles of the syringes, like sometimes they are good, like sometimes they hurt at the second or third. And I'm like, is it me? Have my tolerance for pain gone low? So
Hmm.
maybe sometimes it's a bad batch also, like that can be the case.
Yeah.
Because recently I used a new syringe, and then it started hurting on day two or day three.
Acha.
So I was like, it lasts at least 1 week, it works perfectly fine,
Yeah.
but now it's become a little like 2 day, 3 day. So yeah. Hello,
Yeah.
hi Manish, hi Sonali.
Hi guys. Sonali says, "Do you ever feel burnt out with all the pressure?" Yes, so many times. Like, I think it just like ebbs and flows, and sometimes you're just like, "I'm not going to look at anything for some time." Um, but I guess the whole idea of managing your own T1 and realizing that there's nobody else to say to you. I mean, if someone tells you, then it might even be annoying, right? So it's just better that we do it on our own. Um, but yeah, it can get the pressure can get to you, and I think everyone has really busy lives and hectic sort of schedules. Um, so how do all of you manage? I know Snehal. I remember what she says like sometimes in the workshops, but I'm gonna like let her say what she's gonna say, and then I'm gonna see if she adds something uh, new to that. But Snehal, over to you. How do you like manage when it's all stressful?
I think anytime I feel extremely bored or extremely, like pressured,
Huh,
mentally I've taken note of three things, like you either go take a nice shower, you know,
huh,
like a nice hot shower you take, and somehow that magically helps you to calm down,
yeah,
The second thing is you go work out. It works when you're in the mood, but most of the time that is not my preferred option.
yeah,
Or the third thing and the most preferred option is to sleep. So I'm like three things mentally. If you're feeling extremely bored, you feel like, अरे अभी कुछ नहीं करना है, or I'm not sleepy, but what should I do? So mentally I've decided एक तो जाके नहा लो या फिर कुछ
huh.
कोई वर्कआउट कर लो या फिर सो जाओ. And most of
All
the times then I just shut down my phone and like everything, and I just like close my eyes and then I fall asleep, and then
yeah.
afterwards, like you feel a little better.
That sounds so amazing. Just thinking about that also, it just makes me feel like wow. Can't wait to do any of these things. And we take it for granted, right? Like it's true. Like you just go out and exercise, or you whatever. घर पे भी अगर exercise
Yeah,
करना है, it just makes you feel so much more like suddenly switched on. That's
yeah,
the amazing
yeah.
part. I see Anubhav is here. Hi Anubhav.
Hello,
After
hi.
a long time, how are you? We are doing fine, and we hope you guys are also doing all good. How's the Mausam in Punjab? Is it raining? What's it like? Is it hot? So we are
So
doing this.
do you
Huh.
follow any tricks to like like avoid the pressure or like burnout or whatnot?
I try to, actually, Snail, I have a problem like sort of cutting off with I just feel like okay, it's just one whole thing that goes on, and then I can't like say okay, now I need to like chill. If I'm chilling, then I sometimes also find it a problem to flip back into work mode, but so that becomes a problem for me sometimes, so then I'm constantly like either on my phone, and it's complicated, right? Because log to bolenge phone mat dekho, but hum kaise nahi phone dekhe, right? We have our blood sugars are on our phone, our CGMs or some pumps are connected on the phone for some people, and then also we've got our groups on the phone, we've got our social media, we've got like apart from whatever time pass and relaxation that you do on the phone, you're also connected with so many people in the diabetes space, right? Our Facebook group is there, our WhatsApp groups are there, and you know someone may need something at some point, so it's just very hard to like completely cut off. So that is something I find challenging, but you're right. I mean, for me also, I really enjoy a good workout. Like once that's done, you're like, yeah, okay, I got this, my life is on track. So that feels good for sure. And sleep to matlab, I think jitna bolo utna kam hai. Sleep is like the best medicine, right? It's sometimes you cut corners on everything, and sleep also becomes one of those things. And I don't know, like I'm sure everyone must have noticed this, but you also get a little insulin resistant if you don't sleep enough. अगर नींद पूरी नहीं होती है, you do see it in your blood sugars the next day. Everything is a little higher, it's a little more stuck, and I just can't function actually. Without good sleep, you're just that much more crankier. I'm seeing Anubhav's message, and he says, I'm always indebted to you guys for guiding me on lowering carbs. Thanks for being a game changer. Thank you. And I know, like, you're doing so well, and like your A1Cs are in the fives, and it's really amazing, Anubhav. It's so nice to hear from you. Itne dino baad. Snehal, what are your snack options? Sonali's
Oh,
question. Rama is going to the
yeah.
hospital.
I think I have a lot of snack options, but I'm like, like trying not to like binge eat too much. I think my
Yeah.
favorite is like roasted almonds, because I like the aroma of
Hmm.
that roasted almond, and because it's crunchy, like you don't feel like you're missing out on chips or like all that junk food.
Yeah.
So I think roasted almonds, and Nupur has put me on masala peanuts.
I just like masala peanut.
Masala peanuts, like so I usually get this, I think you get it from which one of the brands you like from Instamart. I can quickly like like buy that
Yeah, yeah.
masala peanuts, and that
Haldiram, Jackson's,
yeah,
all those.
Haldiram's, yeah, and they're tasty. They are like not do not impact your blood sugars as such, and
Correct.
so that is there. I think previously when I used to like like gym properly, I used to also enjoy eating like apple slices with peanut butter, like almond butter, like unsweetened almond butter and apple slices,
That
so
sounds yummy.
yeah, that I used to like really enjoy. Like now I don't eat peanut or almond butter as such, but that was a good option. And in the market you get this unsweetened almond butter, so always
Hmm.
read the labels, because a lot of this no sugar products do have like a slight sugar buildup in the label if you see,
Correct.
so that is one of the things. And now like after my my when I fell sick in Bangkok, I think my go-to snack has been cucumber. Like somehow I just find comfort in it, and I know कि इससे कुछ तकलीफ नहीं होने वाला है, So I
And
just
it's
like
so
cut.
nice, right?
Yeah, it's crunchy and it's healthy, and like it keeps you hydrated also,
Yeah.
and like health wise also it just feels like very lightweight, like low carb snack option.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
you don't even need a shot for cucumber. So you just like today
yeah,
I had such nice cucumber. It was just so crunchy and like beautiful cucumber. Yeah, I agree with you, Snehal. I think nuts and peanuts and all of these are really nice go-to options. And in a little bit, like if you have them not in a very big quantity, like you probably don't need a bolus, and maybe even like something like I know paneer requires some preparation, like cooking or something. But and I'm thinking what kind of food might be easy in a
also
hostel.
Nupur put me on cheese cubes also, like I
Cheese.
have to give it to her for that. पहले मैं सोचती थी कि ऐसे ऐसे कैसे कोई चीज खाएगा, like just you open the cheese cubes and eat it. And I've been listening to Nupur talk about eating cheese cubes since a really long time, so I was like, okay, let me also try. And I tried it, and I was like, yeah, this is good, like this is a good option. uh, like obviously best thing is like no impact on your sugars, but it's tasty also. It's a little salty, so like you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. So that has also like I literally keep like cheese cubes in my fridge, just to like if I feel like binge eating, I have the that option. And recently we also got some like pista and like walnuts, so usually you can have that also. Yeah. And
Yeah.
this another seed mix that I got from DMart, which is really good. Like now I don't know if other brands or like your local shops may also have them, but this was
Huh.
from DMart, and they had this very nice seed mix. Like all seeds, sunflower, pumpkin, and like little bit of raisins also. So that was also like a quick good snack to have in between. Nupur, we had it in Kigali the first
Yeah, yeah,
day.
that was so nice. We were so tired and so hungry, and then Snehal comes with one packet. That was a lifesaver, really. That packet that day, it was so tasty. And I was just thinking, like if you have to make it at home, I mean,
Yeah,
we make all these plans and then maybe don't make it, but it is doable. Like you can take all of the seeds, roast it on the tawa or in the pan. Maybe add a little bit of salt, add a little like a pinch of stevia or something, and it'll give it that little sort of khatta meetha
yeah.
kind of taste that is there in the more sort of unhealthy farsan options.
Yeah, yeah. I think these are quick to do, like, and obviously, like even like you can do this once for like once a month, like just roast the seeds and pack it in a dabba and like have it. But obviously, lazy people like me, like will not do that. So on like outside also you will get this packets of pre-mixed seeds, so you
Mm.
can, but just check that there's no added sugar in it, just
Yeah.
check that, and there are a lot of options like that available in the market, so you can have that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And also like my sister, she does this thing where like this morning she did so in dahi she'll put like whatever seeds are available, whether it's flax seeds, sunflower seeds, and then a little bit of maybe whatever is around. So you could put something like cucumber or vegetables, or you could even put some berries or something. It becomes like a little smoothie bowl at home.
Yeah.
So that's also there. What other factors can cause insulin resistance? I think one other immediate factor that, since we were just talking about it, Yash, is illness. If you fall sick, that also tends to cause you to become a little bit more insulin resistant, and you need more insulin for the same amount of, food or. Uh, so that's one more thing. Hi, Sameer. How are you? Thanks for
Hello,
joining.
hi, Samir. Yeah. And I think even when I'm sick, no, like I feel that insulin resistance is more throughout the day, and
Huh.
evening suddenly my body is working at its best. So I have also have to be very cautious that I don't want to rage bolus, because
Right.
then that all that insulin starts working at like like evening 5 or 6, and then I have bad hypos.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to like constantly monitor when you're sick, so that you
Correct.
know where you're at. If you have a CGM, then that's wonderful. But if you do not have a CGM, and if you're sick, then I would recommend like checking your sugars once every 3 hours, just so
Mm.
that you
Sure.
don't go extremely high or extremely low. That is also one thing to note. And I think insulin resistance in general, I don't think so. I think it's different for different people, and there's no rule book as such. Because certain days everything is fine, the weather is fine, I am not sick. But then certain days my body is like, okay, आज तो insulin resistant रहेंगे हम full day. So there are days like that also. So
Correct.
yeah, yeah. So
It's like Sameer has written about a trail mix. It's like a trail mix on, today your
yeah,
body is like, take this uh, trail mix, and tomorrow the proportions will all change. And then for women with like menstruation and all, that's another reason for insulin resistance. I mean, not applicable to you, Yash, but still like for the general, like for anyone who's watching, so before your periods, your body would tend to get a little bit insulin resistant. And even for growing children with the growth hormones, the blood sugars tend to go higher. So that's something um, that people can watch out for, and parents here can share. Hi, Monica, how are your kids doing?
hello, hi Monica, hi Vivida,
Hi,
Vidisha, thank you for
Monica.
joining. Okay, Vidisha has a question. Every time her daughter is unwell, she develops ketones. I
Huh.
checked using ketone strips, but I haven't been able to figure out why she has started getting ketones so quickly. I'm concerned
Right.
about it. She's in class 11,
Yeah.
and 2 years she'll have to go to a hostel.
So, if you say that she's getting ketones, what are her blood sugars at that time? Are they high? And if they're high, then you need to figure out why she's going high. Is she forgetting to take her insulin, or is there something else at play? Because ketones are something to watch out for when your blood sugar is over 200 or 250, and in that case, there could be you could develop DKA, which is diabetic ketoacidosis, which can be dangerous, and your concern as a parent is really valid. But um, yeah, it'll be good to know if if you sort of made that observation that when her ketones are high, what are her blood sugars.
Yeah, yeah. Because I don't think so. Like, especially if you're living with diabetes and on insulin, I think ketones will only show up, like when your sugars have been high for, like a couple of hours to a few days.
Yeah.
I know Nupur talks a lot about like generic ketosis versus
Yeah.
diabetic ketoacidosis.
Correct.
So
Correct.
normal ketones is still like okay and manageable. But if you're sick, your sugars are high, and you have ketones, I think that's something to worry about. So you'll
Yeah.
have to check, and also like which basal or bolus your daughter is on. If there is a wait time, are you waiting that long enough before eating? So all of these questions, are you pre-bolusing? So all of these questions need to be checked before we, like you can decide on what is that exact thing that is causing the ketones.
Correct. And like Snehal was mentioning, there are two different types. Ketones are there in the human body in general. So even if you don't have diabetes, ketones are still a byproduct of the body. So not to worry, not to panic, and only like save your worry or like a little bit of panic maybe when the blood sugar is very high and there are ketones, in which case things can escalate quickly. And so, like Snehal was saying, keep checking your sugars every few hours, especially if you're sick. Use a CGM if you can. Use glucometer if not. But testing is so important. Like for us, insulin is like oxygen, but testing is, I don't know what's the smart thing to say here. I thought I would think of something to say, but testing is really crucial. Like if you don't test, you don't know what your blood sugar is, how much shot to take. So whether you're I mean, if you're insulin dependent, definitely it's very important. But even if not, I think it's super crucial to see how food behaves with your blood sugars, even if you're type 2. Monica has a question: how to calculate carb count for dal chilla? Acha,
Yeah, so I
Monica.
just did a quick search on the Blue Circle app, so you can, if you just go, this is like blurred. So if you just go on the main page of the app and there's this option where you have a carb counter. So I just put in dal chila over there and clicked on the search. And then it's
Huh,
showing me 15 grams of carbs, 5 grams of proteins, and 3 grams of fats. So I think this is a wonderful, wonderful feature. We have integrated a lot of AI enabled options and features in the Blue Circle Diabetes app. So I would recommend everyone, if you have not taken a look at this feature again, just try and use it. But again, just a quick reminder, like no matter where you check the carbs from, they are just a rough estimate, because we don't add in the exact amount of dal we have used or what else we have added. So this is just
yeah,
a good guesstimate कि हाँ इतना कार्ब्स हो सकता है इसमें. So you have to
correct,
be a little wary that nothing will give you like that perfect कि हाँ इतना ही है इसमें. So like that. And I think generally, like even if you compare of like Indian chapati, like normal chapati, fulka or whatever you make, I think
Mhm.
depending on the size and like what grains you are using, I think approximately 10 to 15 gram of carbs we can consider in one chapati,
Yeah,
like that. And obviously if there's like mixed grain or if you include like low carb atta or something like that, then the carb will go down. But generally, like it's around 10 to 15 grams of carbs.
right. Um, Monica is asking what will be the weight. So, like Snehal was saying, Monica, ये बहुत एक general sort of assumption है based on because there are first of all so many types of dals, and then how you make it, what you add in it. Are you adding just one type of dal? Are you adding like two three types of dals? How much quantity are you using? All that will add in and change the carb count, but roughly on
Also
an
the
average,
size of the chilla, like some people just have like a small one, like the shape of your hand. Some people have like a very big, the size of a plate, like so it depends on how each household makes it.
correct. So there's a question by Yash Snehal, and he says, "Is it normal to feel anxiety? Because I am recently diagnosed, and I feel anxiety sometimes. Like if I'm in office in a meeting and I'm concerned, I'm going low, and it also affects my performance in the office. So what tips would we have for him?"
Yeah. So I think because I've been on the CGM for the longest time now, I think that really helps. So if you can be on CGM continuously, I would recommend that. But if not, I think if there's an important meeting in the office, so I usually tend to keep my sugars a little high, like 160, 180 around maybe. And I also keep my sugar, like a glucovita tabs with me in my pocket, just
Mm,
worst case scenario, like if I'm feeling low or even if you're in meetings and if you feel low and you don't know if you're actually low or not, so it doesn't matter, you just like take one tablet of the glucovita and you eat it and you feel okay. So
yeah,
I think that is one thing, but it's okay to feel some anxiety around it. Yeah, me and Nupur both have the same thing. So yeah. And yeah, so you can keep this in the pocket for any meetings that you go. But also, like, I am very open about my condition, and I ensure that everyone around me, from my teammates to my juniors to my seniors, everyone knows this. Like, So in worst case scenario, if you're in a meeting and something happens, and you can excuse yourself out, that
Yeah.
okay, you're not feeling well and you need some time to yourself. So don't feel ashamed to do that. I think most companies nowadays are like open about that. They like prioritize employee health over everything. So that is there. But feeling a little anxious about this entire situation to till you get a grasp on like how your body is reacting, and like understanding how food is working for you. I think it's okay. Like take it slow and be kind to yourself. Don't stress too much about it. You learn on the go. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, so nice to hear, Snehal, and I hope Yash that you find it helpful because it's a mix of everything, right? It's a few practical things like how Snehal said, apne pocket mein you keep that glucovita or even like sugar sachets. Anytime we go to a cafe, the first thing we grab are the sugar sachets, and then we may tell them that we don't want sugar in our coffee, but then we are stuffing these sachets into a bag for a hypo in the future if it happens. So always make sure that you're surrounded by the things that will keep you safe, so that if you ever need it, you can. And I think I had this thing early on where I used to feel like I have to prove that I'm like some Superman or something, and it's not necessary to prove that. Just in case, like sometimes it happens. You feel like, oh, maybe like you have diabetes and you have to actually work harder to prove anything. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. I mean, of course, offices work like that. We understand, but first take care of yourself, and it is confusing and it's new and you're newly diagnosed and you've got so many things going on. So that is another thing. Another thing is, tell yourself that if you don't have active insulin in your body, your chances of getting a hypo are very low. For example, if I've taken my shot at, let's say, abhi kitne baje hain, like 5:40, right? If I've taken my shot 1 hour back or 2 hours back, I can still get a hypo because my bolus insulin will work for 3 or 4 hours if I'm on a rapid insulin. If I'm on Act Rapid, it will work much longer, 6 hours also, 7 hours also. So, you make those calculations accordingly and then allow yourself to feel a little stressed. And if not, then tell your mind there's no need to feel stressed because I don't have active insulin. So, the chances of me getting a hypo are very less unless your basal is too high, in which case you can get a hypo. But if your basal is correct, and you've taken your bolus 3-4 hours back and you're on rapid, then you won't get a hypo.
Yeah. And I think right now, because you're newly diagnosed, I think the first and foremost thing is for you to, like slow down a little bit, just be regular with your insulin, with your monitoring. And I would say, like, try to have a good understanding of how each food is working for your body. I think that is something that I learned quite late. And, like, I wish someone would have told me that, like, check your sugars before you're eating something new, so that how this food, if you're eating randomly, like let's say you're eating I don't know, like a moong dal chila, or like an omelette, so you should have that
Mm.
mental assumption, okay, like if I'm eating 2x omelette, then this is going to be my sugars. So that whole understanding, I did like an experiment on myself. It took me 3 months to figure out how each food is working. This was without the CGM, obviously. Like I was checking on a glucometer, and like 1 hour after the food I've consumed, I used to check my blood sugars. So there are a lot of ways, and you will learn the tips and tricks, like on how to figure things out. But take it a little slow, and like don't stress yourself out too much.
Yeah. Hi, Sanjeev. How are you?
Hello.
Uh, Monica has a question for any sugar-free ice cream. Monica, I remember you're in Jaipur, and maybe you can check out, Swiggy and Zomato for options like there used to be. I mean, I don't know if it. I'm sure it's still there. Brooklyn Creamery is one option. Noto ice creams, I know are there in Mumbai
There's
at least, probably.
Getaway. That is also one of the options. Amul sugar-free ice creams also work well. Amul sugar-free and have more sugar-free, because I've personally tried them and like checked my sugars, so they did not impact my blood sugars as such. So obviously, like I had a whole, like a small dal ka bowl kind of a thing, and I had like 2 scoops of ice cream, of the sugar-free ice creams. So they did work well for me, so I can recommend those. Like Amul sugar free, have more sugar free. And like Nupur mentioned, Brooklyn Creamery, there's Noto, there's
Hmm.
Getaway. And I'm sure nowadays even your local, like ice cream parlors, they also have like sugar free options available. But it's
Yeah.
always important to know that once you eat anything sugar free, just check if it is actually sugar free or not. It's
Correct.
important to do
Because
that.
sugar free doesn't necessarily mean carb free, you know. If it's sugar free, फिर भी उसमें कुछ ना कुछ हो सकता है. अंजीर है, maybe there's pieces of fruit, so those things will also be a little bit spiky.
Yeah.
Okay, Yash is already using the CGM and it's helped him a lot. That is awesome. I actually want to ask this question to Snehal, to you and to everyone who's watching. So, Go Zero also is, yeah, Surbi, I saw it recently recommended. This is something I've not tried yet. Minus 30 is another one. So, there are lots of options now. So, someone recently was asking in our group, child, I think the child is Apsara ice cream, of course, the
Yeah.
classic
I mean,
favorite
I know we
Sunita.
get this in Mumbai, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure on its availability anywhere else.
Correct. But lots of ideas, Monica. अभी तो आप, I hope you've written them all down and आपको सारे याद हैं. If not, we'll also put them
But
into
you
the
know what?
chat.
Surprisingly, like I said, like there's like a very small ice cream parlor near my house. Like a very small place, and they have their own, like ice creams. Like they don't keep branded ice creams. They have their own parlor, and even they have like like sugar free ice creams. So I'm happy and also like happily surprised to see even these small parlors are like like now keeping like 2 or 3 sugar free ice creams options. Like
Yeah,
so it's good to check
that's
out
really good.
locally also. Like I'm sure there will be a lot of options.
Correct. Yeah, so this question, Snehal, I wanted to ask. So a parent posted this question, and I mean, I'm not taking their name, but I'm just like whoever can help, and we can pass on your answers to them. So the child is about 8 years old or so, 8 9 years old, and the child was diagnosed 4 years back, and the A1Cs are now like 9.5, closer to 10. They use a CGM and they use, I think, rapid insulin like Novo Rapid and some, I don't remember the basal. But what tips, would you all give to that family so that the child's sugars can be sort of, they do say that they take corrections and all. I don't know a lot of details of when and all that, but any kind of things that come to your mind, Snehal, and everyone who's watching in the comments also. And I hope that they're watching, and if not, I'll make sure to tell them that please check out the workshop video. Yeah. Um, so, any thoughts like
Yeah.
Snehal or anybody?
So I think, like the couple of things that come to my mind. First of all is like the site rotation. If there's
Hmm.
lipo already, then no matter how many injections you take at the same spot, it's not going to work. So you have to try using the 3 finger method, uh, just like rub 3 fingers, put a little pressure and rub it on the skin, like the area where you are injecting, to see if there are any lumps over there. So that way you will figure it out if there's like any lumpy skin. So that means there is lipohypertrophy, or lipo as we call it. So you have to avoid that area for injecting. That is one thing. The second thing is like maybe the insulin has gone bad, so they can probably try a new vial, or like a new cartridge, and see if that's working. If nothing of this is like the problem, so I think they can also talk to the doctor to maybe like change the insulin,
Yeah.
uh, because we never know. Like I know we have heard a lot of things on Fias, that Fias stops working and it works differently. But yeah, I think it's also important to know that, to consider that option, that maybe this insulin is no longer working for you. So
Right,
that is
right.
also. But then for children, it gets a little tricky, because I know when I was a kid, I did all sorts of like musty. Like I would not tell my parents, and I would like quickly pop something in my mouth and then be like, "मैंने तो कुछ खाया नहीं," and then sugars used to be like 300 or so.
Yeah.
So it's important to have that balance with your kid. If they want to eat something, let them eat. You can share within the family. But do not kind of deprive the kid completely, because if the kid wants it, the kid will have it by any means, because I
But
have
you
done
know,
that. Chupke, like chup I used to like have some biscuit, or like have some chikki, या फिर घर पे कुछ भी रहेगा तो like I used to not tell, and then I used to have, and then obviously the sugars do tell, like कि हाँ रे तो कुछ तो खाया होगा, like, but I used to be like नहीं नहीं मैंने कुछ भी नहीं खाया, like, and I used to get very rebellious about that, so I have done that, so I'm sure uh, other kids can also do, so that is also one thing to note of.
yeah. So Monica is worried about the sugar, alcohol. Monica, if you're having sweeteners once in a while, it's not a problem. It's your decision to make as a parent कि आपको अपने बच्चे को देना है या नहीं देना है. But we definitely know that eating actual sugar, is harmful for anyone, even non-diabetics. So if you do have diabetes, why would you want to give yourself sugar? But I think that's a personal decision, and it's something you can decide based on the pros and cons. But in my understanding, using sweetener once in a while is absolutely no problem. Ice cream is not something you would eat every day, so when you do, I'd rather, like, for myself, I'd rather enjoy the ice cream also, and not, like, have some crazy spike. And Sunita also mentions that it's not necessary that spike won't happen. You still could get a spike. There may be other things in that dish that could spike your blood sugars. Maybe you're already high, like if you're already 200 or 250, and you eat anything, it will still impact your sugars, even if it's very low carb or doesn't have sugar or anything. And then I see another comment about the muscle, right? And so if you inject in the muscle, your blood sugar will actually come crashing down. That's one way to actually bring your sugar drastically down. So, which is why we are told to inject subcutaneously. You're injecting in the fat. Many of us are used to pinching the skin up. And now it may or may not be necessary depending on your age, body, this, that, and other. But earlier we were all told you have to pinch up your tummy or pinch up your thigh and then inject, and that was because you want to make sure that you're not injecting the muscle. um, and if you do, then it's well, there are so many different things. I just remembered, Snehal, the time I had a Lantus low.
Yeah.
So it's called Lantus low, but any, basically Glargine, if you use Glargine or Lantus, you could, like, it sometimes just happens that, so two ways that your blood sugars could go drastically down with basil. One is if you inject in the muscle, because some of us use the thighs to inject our basil, and thighs are muscular part of the body. So that's one reason. And the other is with Lantus or with Glargine. It just behaves in this way that you could have a very dramatic low. So I went from like 115 or 120 blood sugars to like 20 or 25 ka blood sugar very quickly, like in 15 minutes or less. So that was very scary and very dangerous, and you don't expect ki basil say, you'll get that kind of a hypo. So if anyone's using Lantus or the generic Glargine, you should know that this can happen, and if it happens, then quickly do something before you're knocked out.
Also, because basal dose is also a little higher than your bolus, right? Your bolus may be 4 units, 5 units, 8 units, but your basal dose are like, like 15 or 20, 25 for some people, like that. So, and if you have, like, if you inject, let's say 20 units and you have a Lantus low, then all that 20 units is acting at one time, so that sounds also scary, like,
Really.
yeah. There's a question from Apurva. Does insulin dependency lead to weight gain?
Uh, so for us, Apurva, I know your Lada, like for us, type 1s and Ladas, there's no option, right? We don't take insulin, we'll die. And if we take too much insulin, we'll get a hypo. So for us, taking insulin is not optional. However, I understand your question, like, and I think that if I could answer in a bit of a longer way, that would be, eating a lot of food, whatever it may be. if you're consuming that much food or many calories, you are going to gain weight. Even if you're an athlete, whatever like stage you're at, that's one thing. And the other thing is eating a lot of high carbohydrate food, processed foods, will need more insulin also. So, the food and the insulin are so interlinked, and these things will lead to weight gain. But the food is the key here. The thing that we can, change, or the variable that's in our hand, is the food. It's not the insulin. We still need insulin. So, um, weight gain is a very common problem with all of us, in those who have type 1 and LADA. It's called double diabetes because traditionally it was thought that type 2s are the ones that struggle with weight, but and type 1s are, very skinny and they're very thin. But all those things are changing because our world and our life that we live, what it was 20, 30 years back, it's not the same now. There are too many options, even of healthy foods. But we have a packet in our house for any kind of, there's a guest, we've got a packet. We want to munch, there's a packet. um, so I think those things, need to be thought about and planned in advance. And then losing weight will probably be a result of controlling or managing the food, what components of the food you're eating, also exercising regularly, because as we grow older, our metabolism also slows down a little bit. So yeah,
Yeah.
those are some thoughts.
I think insulin, like as an hormone, it does have a tendency to, like deposit fat in the body, but you cannot blame everything on insulin. Like it's a very small component. But like Nupur rightly mentioned, nowadays if you have to pinpoint one thing, it's majorly the food. And even though foods are packaged as diabetic friendly or healthy, but there are a lot of hidden components over there, so you have to like read the labels. I think that is one key thing that I've taken, like from my journey, is to read the labels. Don't shy away from reading the labels. Or you can, even if you don't understand anything, just click a picture and put up on Chat GPT or something, and it will give you, like what is the carb content, or like what is the hidden sugar content. It will give you an analysis on that. So I think food and obviously exercise is a crucial part. If you want to maintain your weight, or like not put on a lot of weight. So yes, insulin can lead, not lead to, but it does have that. It's one of the component that will lead to a little bit of weight gain. But there are a lot of other factors also. And like Nupur rightly mentioned, we do not have an option. We have to take insulin. But what kind of food and what kind of exercise you are doing is in your hands. So I think we should focus on what is in our control. So I think that should help you, and let us know how that goes for you. Like what changes are you planning to do in your like meals, or like workouts or anything.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to hear. So we're down to the last like 7 minutes or so. And of course, if there are more questions, we're happy to take them. But quick reminder to everyone who's watching to share your thoughts and questions, last few minutes, and we are happy to quickly address as many things as we can. And before I forget, we are doing this monthly meetup in Pune on 2nd of August, and we're doing it at the Blue Circle Community Center. You'll see today's post is about that, and it's about caregivers. So, whether your parents or family members, siblings, partners, anyone, this is primarily aimed at caregivers, but it's open to everyone. So, we'll have somebody facilitate this discussion, and it'll be a safe space for people to share what challenges they face. Quite often parents reach out to us, and they tell us that I'm having trouble, my teenager is not listening to me, we're having fights at home, they're not eating properly, they want to eat junk food. How do you deal with all of these things? Learning from each other, I think, is the best sort of way out.
Yeah. There's one more question from Survi. If my sugar is 350 plus, would you suggest taking insulin in the muscle? I have very, like I have my thoughts in place regarding the muscle shot. Like I like predictability and I like my control. And it doesn't matter for me if I have to wait a little bit longer for my sugars to come down. So personally, I have never tried injecting in the muscle. I know that's an option, but even if my sugar is 350, I will take my Novo Rapid and I'll wait You know, I'll wait for it to naturally follow the course of time and come down. In between, if I feel hungry, then I know that low carb options are my go to, you know, like just munching on maybe some roasted makhanas or peanuts or all of that, you know. So I think for me, I've never taken a shot on the muscle and I don't feel comfortable because, you know, like I don't think so. We all understand it well enough to know in how much time will the sugar will come down, you know, कितने से कम होगा, कितना कम होगा, you know. So I think I don't like that sort of unpredictability in my head. So I am staying two steps away from this, but mentally I know that that is an option. Like worst case, if I need it, I know that's an option. So Nupur, over to you.
Yeah. So honestly, I haven't, explored the option quite like Snehal myself. However, I know that the option is there, and for example, Dr. Bernstein and others also, they use the deltoid muscle. So you would use your, if you have a very short length of needle, it's not going to work. If you want to reach the muscle, the length of the needle should be a little bit longer. So you want to look for something like an 8 or 12 needle. I'm not sure because I have not gone around looking to see if these are available. Because I know pen and syringe ke beech mein there is like an option of 4 and 6 Those are the options that we have. So that's one thing. And second is that, it's probably a little bit of trial and error. It sounds a little scary, like jabbing your deltoid like that to make sure that it's going into the muscle. But yeah, I think people are doing it, and it does really come down very, very quickly. That is what we've heard from others. And I think it's down to a little bit of trial and error. And like Snehal said, always either have a CGM or glucometer pe check kar lo. But as long as you know where your blood sugar is going, you have a handle on it. Prajakta is asking, what does it mean to inject in the muscle? So, Prajakta, when we are injecting insulin, you are probably injecting for your child, or your child is injecting in the stomach or on the bum or on the, some people do arms, thighs. So, those are the places that you're injecting in where there's a little bit of fat, and we are injecting insulin subcutaneously. So, that is how we do it, how we are told to do it. When you inject in the muscle, the insulin acts a lot faster. Your sugars will come down very quickly. And so, what things to avoid, or how do you know, because we don't learn this, right? Like, until you're diabetic, you don't know what does it mean. I mean, muscles and fat, but beyond that, how do I make sure I don't go low dangerously? So, in your thighs, especially for children, I think it would be very easy for them to get a muscular shot in the thighs, So, some doctors, even Bernstein and others, also say don't actually use the thighs for basal. So, or if you're using, then maybe pinch the thigh up to make sure that it's not going straight into the muscle. So, I hope that sort of answered your question a little bit. If you inject in muscle, the sugar will go down very rapidly. So, that is a result of um, a intramuscular shot.
Yeah. Hope that helps. I think people have different ways of approaching different rules and techniques on diabetes, you know, and I think it's very personal. You don't have to follow what someone else is following. You do you. You see how any particular method or food or technique is working for your body, you know, because every body is different. I always like mention this: do not follow what your friend is doing or what a doctor suggests you. Always, you know, like check your blood sugars if you're trying something new, some new exercise or a new food, you know. Always keep a tab on your sugars, and I always recommend if you're trying something new, check before, in between, and after. You know, like so you know where your sugars are going. You know, it may sound a lot of work in the beginning, but once you know the mental peace it gives you, you know, like you know कि हाँ ये खाने से इतना ही शुगर बढ़ेगा या ये एक्सरसाइज करने से इतना ही मेरा अप एंड डाउन होने वाला है, you know. So you don't want to live in that, you know, confusion कि क्या होगा अभी. So I think that's important.
Yeah, definitely agree. And I'm also seeing Apurva your message now about you've started to change your food habits, and the weight gain will get controlled. It definitely really will, because our diets typically what we're eating is rice, roti, that kind of thing, and they're very carb heavy. So if you start adding a little bit of more protein to each meal that you eat, you will get full with the protein, and you won't need to eat as much carbs, and you won't feel the need to snack constantly.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the times, even me, like in the beginning, everyone used to say, "अरे नहीं proteins खाओगे तो जल्दी पेट भर जाता है." I'm like, ऐसे थोड़ी होगा, like I never believed them and I never tried it for myself. But when I started eating, like like consciously put in that effort of like let's start the meal with, let's say, a paneer starter, or like a chicken starter, and then you realize that once you eat like 5-6 pieces of like let's say a chicken starter, you don't feel the need to like eat maybe two rotis that you usually used to eat. You will drastically feel that difference. So try it like before thinking that it's not going to work for you. It definitely works. Proteins do make you fuller faster and keep you satiated for a long period of time.
Correct. Absolutely. Okay, it's been a fun chat, Snehal, and I know it's been quite so hectic, right? Yesterday we were in
Yeah.
Mumbai. We met some of y'all at the Sion Hospital where we did a retina health workshop that went well. And then tomorrow, Snehal and I are heading to Udaipur for another meeting. So we'll keep you posted and maybe try and make a quick video from the
Yes.
city of lakes in Udaipur. And if you all have any suggestions for what we should do or eat there, you can leave it in the comment section. And I think probably that's it from us. Snehal, over to you.
Yes. Yes. So thank you everyone for joining us. It's been wonderful to hear all of these questions, and like it makes us also rethink a lot of ways we do our things. So I think it's always been like mutual, like give and take, mutual learning, unlearning kind of a thing. So thank you everyone for joining us on a Sunday evening, and I think we'll see you again next Sunday at the same time. And if you have any further questions, keep them coming in the comments here. And do follow us on all social media handles: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We are there on all social media handles, so do follow us there. There's some behind the scenes drama that happens on social media. So, yes, and I think we'll see you then. Bye bye.
Bye.